Kevin, you mentioned his views on homelessness, and that's one of his main policies. And there are even suggestions that maybe Prince William could be about to team up with Andy Burnham. In 2023, Prince William actually launched Homewards to demonstrate homelessness can be ended, and Burnham actually supported the Prince and his Royal Foundation through the launch. Should Prince William bond with Andy Burnham or stay as far away as he can?
Well, I'd advise the latter, but I suspect they may well forge some kind of a pact. I mean, no politician's going to say, I'm against solving homelessness. I don't want to do anything about rough sleeping. Of course they do. And so Prince William, as the royals tend to do, is a massive do-gooder causes. Tackling homelessness is one of them. And if he can forge some kind of pact with the Prime Minister, I'm sure that they will. None of it really will amount to much more than a hill of beans. I mean, it won't mean anything. Homelessness won't be solved. Rough sleeping won't, as Andy promised, be ended. But, it's all about the virtue signaling. So, yeah, the William and Andy show may happen. But what will it amount to? Not very much.
No, no, that's for sure. Well, look, let's talk about the royals now because Prince William is reportedly facing immense pressure to be the bigger person and forge a path towards peace with his wayward brother, Prince Harry. According to Women's Day, the future king has no intention of making this easy for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. In fact, William is reportedly demanding a legally binding peace contract before he even considers a sit down with his estranged brother. And look, Kevin, I don't blame Prince William. Why would or how could he ever trust the Sussexes ever again?
Yeah, there isn't going to be a peace contract. He's not demanding a peace contract. What he's demanding is that he never wants to see his brother again. Neither William nor Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, even want to be in the same postcode as Harry and Meghan. They particularly despise Meghan, and they don't like what Harry has become since he teamed up with Ms. Markle. So the feud between the sibling rivalry, the brotherly feud between William and Harry, I think is insoluble. I don't think there is ever going to be a deal. In fact, Harry and Kate were, or rather, sorry, William and Catherine were furious that the king even entertained them when they came back to Britain last week. I mean, the king, Camilla can't stand it. All of the royal family, including the king, absolutely detest Meghan. They believe that she's ruined Harry, and they no longer like Harry. William just doesn't want to know him anymore. So all this talk of there's going to be some kind of peace pact. There's been talking. William and Harry have not been talking. That's not true, and they're not going to talk. As far as William is concerned, that interview with Oprah, his spiteful little book, Spare, in which he trashed the entire royal family. Don't forget, in the interview with Oprah, he basically called the royal family racists.
Mm,
So did she.
yeah.
This is unforgivable. There's no forgive and forget after what Harry's done. Harry is naive, immature, and not very bright. He believes in the dimness of his mind, of his intellectually challenged mind, that he can surmount all of these problems and they can, reforge the lives they once enjoyed. And then that he and Meghan can, in fact, have that half in, half out royal lifestyle. In other words, coming to Britain, doing a few royal functions, opening a few libraries, cutting a few ribbons, all that stuff they do, and then going back to America to earn money. That was the half in, half out system that the late, great Queen Elizabeth II specifically banned. She said, you're either in or you're out. There's no halfway house.
Mm.
Harry is obsessed with getting that halfway house. The king, soft-hearted soul who just wanted to see his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. I think he probably would go along with some kind of arrangement, allowing them to and fro between the two countries. William, who, by the way, is basically in charge of the royal family. It's not the king, it's William. William, no way. Camilla doesn't want it. Anne doesn't want it. Edward doesn't want it. None of them want it. The only uh, place where this reunion is some kind of reality is in the fevered, mixed up mind of Harry. It's what he desperately wants because he's come to realize his American life is a disaster. He's obsessed, by the way, right now with the fact that polls are revealing that Americans have really.
Family disagreements are rarely simple, but when they unfold under the gaze of the entire world, every silence, every public appearance, and every reported conversation takes on a life of its own. What began as whispers of tension between two brothers has become one of the most talked about royal stories of the modern era. But here's the real question. Is this still just a family dispute, or has it evolved into something much bigger than either Prince William or Prince Harry ever imagined? Royal disagreements aren't new. History is full of strained relationships inside the monarchy. What makes this situation stand out is how public it has become. Instead of remaining behind palace walls, the disagreements have unfolded through interviews, memoirs, documentaries, and constant media attention. That level of public exposure changes the dynamics completely. Once private disagreements become global headlines, rebuilding trust becomes far more difficult.
Really fallen out of love with Harry and Meghan. Well, Harry, I've got bad news for you. So have Brits. So he's obsessed with trying to get back some of the life he used to enjoy. And the royal family aren't going to let him have it. It just isn't going to happen. Meanwhile, Meghan isn't at all keen on his half in, half out plan either. And that apparently is leading to severe marital problems. He wants to spend more and more time in Britain, particularly taking his kids over to see their granddad and all that, getting closer and closer to William and all that, and then doing some duties, performing some duties, uh, because he's really missing his former life here.
Mm.
She doesn't want that. She sees their future as an all-American dream. She doesn't want to go back to Britain, and that is causing serious friction. Reports of stand-up rows. It's all going wrong. I mean, they need money. He needs money. She needs money. That as ever business of hers is ridiculous. Selling your candles for $64 and box of jam for $15. Do me a favor. It's ridiculous. So that is just a pipe dream that she refuses to accept is never going to work. So she's not making any money to speak of. He certainly isn't making any money. He's just lost millions of pounds in that ludicrous case against the Daily Mail over
Yes.
here,
Yes.
in which him and Elton John and Liz Hurley accused the Mail of phone hacking, illegal information gathering, criminality.
Mm.
40 reporters brought into the dock. Not a shred of evidence to prove any of their allegations. The judge chucked out all 97 accusations against the Daily Mail. And that will leave Harry and his cohorts with a £50 million legal bill. Meghan's
Wow.
furious about that. Meghan
Mm.
is so furious about that because they've got big cash problems. And she warned him to stop this ongoing war against the British press, which we all knew he would never win, can never win. And now he's lost it spectacularly. That's another source of serious friction between these two, between the gruesome twosome, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that she says, I told you so, you shouldn't have carried on. But he's lost all this money. Meanwhile, he's going to continue this lost cause of his ongoing legal battle to get armed police protection from the British government when he comes to Britain with his family. He's never going to get that. He's wasted millions on that. I mean, this guy is just an idiot. He's an
Yes.
idiot. And Meghan is increasingly frustrated by that and all these forlorn campaigns he's got, to get armed cop guards and to defeat the British press. He calls himself the Dragon Slayer.
Ugh.
Well, guess what? The dragon just slayed him. Massive cash problems, massive cash problems. He keeps spaffing money. And you know that phrase, Danica?
Yeah.
When money walks out of the door, love flies out of the window. That relationship is in trouble on a number of levels, but when there's no cash in the house, there's rarely happiness.
No, you're absolutely spot on, and you're right. I mean, the spare, he lives in this delusional land, and you described it as not bright, and he is very low IQ. And they are doing this half in, half out lifestyle, the hokey pokey, one arm in, one arm out, but they're just users and abusers. They just want money, they want fame, and they're both idiots. They're both as bad as each other. And you mentioned the Oprah interview, and before we let you go, Kevin, I just want to play you a little bit of this because Oprah Winfrey has revisited that infamous 2021 Sussex interview. Here she was speaking to Vanity Fair.
Many observers believe that even if conversations happen behind closed doors, repairing the relationship is no longer just about forgiveness. It's also about rebuilding confidence that private family matters will remain private. From Prince William's point of view, the issue may extend beyond personal disagreements. As the future king, he carries responsibilities that go beyond family relationships. That means every decision is weighed against protecting the institution, preserving stability, and maintaining public confidence. Whether fair or not,
I've always valued independence. I've always been outspoken, especially about women's rights. I mean, that's the sad irony of the last 4 years, is I've advocated for so long for women to use their voice. And then I was silent.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
The latter.
Okay, very nice. I don't think I've done it since. I don't know where the hell that came from. Whoop. Okay, I wanted to be clear because was she silenced? Were people telling her not to talk? That's why I said that. I said it for clarification, because I didn't want later to hear, well, no, it wasn't that. It really was that I was silenced. They wouldn't let me talk. So it was all for clarification.
So, Kevin, she says it was all for clarification, but in that interview, she didn't push back at all. But it almost seems to me as now she's trying to walk away from that interview. How did you perceive that?
I think she's been haunted, old Oprah.
Mm.
I mean, it made me laugh over in America. I used to live in America, and shall we say, they have a different worldview to those of us in Europe and in your great country, Australia, as well.
Mm.
And they all think that Oprah is the greatest journalist who ever drew breath. Well, we watched that interview with Harry and Meghan. Was it an interview? It wasn't very good journalism. That's
No.
for damn sure. Oh, there are racists in the royal family. Yeah, any chance you could ask who they are, Oprah, or just going to leave it at that? And do you remember when Meghan, leveled that appalling accusation that members of the royal family had speculated when she was pregnant with their first child, with Archie, what color the baby would be?
Yes.
And Meghan and Oprah reeled back in horror. They did what?
Mm.
As if this was absolutely the worst kind of racism you could possibly imagine. That's not racist.
Mm.
It's not racist at all.
Mm.
I've got friends who are mixed race. One partner is a person of color, the other white. And one of my friends, they had a sweepstake on what the families, both families had a sweepstake on what color the baby would be. That isn't racist.
Mm.
So she didn't push back, or she didn't further inquire when Meghan alluded to interesting things like, oh, the royals are racist. Which royals are racist? In what way are they racist? Oh, you say that they speculated on what color your baby might be. Why do you think that's racist, Meghan? None of that. Instead, she went, "They did what?" So I think what Oprah is trying to do with this Vanity Fair interview is to somehow excuse what was an excuse for an interview. I mean, it produced good obviously it produced a worldwide reaction, and the way those two were talking was compelling, but it could have been a lot better if Oprah had interviewed them properly, which she didn't. So that's what I think she's trying to do here.
Mm.
She's trying to say, no, no, it wasn't a bad interview. That's why I was doing this, and that's why I didn't do that. No, 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 Oprah. It was just a bad interview.
Yeah, yeah. She was protecting her friends at the time, whether or not they're still close. Who knows in this weird and wonderful world of
Apparently
the
not.
Sussexes?
Apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently, Oprah and the Sussexes are no longer close.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm not surprised. They've isolated everybody in their lives because, yeah, they do live in this bizarre parallel universe. Kevin O'Sullivan, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for joining me on Danica Goes Global. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Danica.
Those responsibilities can make personal reconciliation much more complicated. Even people outside royal circles can understand how difficult it is to restore trust after deeply personal disagreements become public. Supporters of Prince Harry often argue that he has simply shared his own experiences and perspective. Others believe those decisions came at a heavy cost, creating wounds that are difficult to heal. The reality is that both views continue to exist simultaneously, which explains why public opinion remains so divided. Depending on who you ask, Harry is either speaking his truth or revealing too much about private family matters. That split in perception keeps the story alive long after each new headline fades. Time alone doesn't repair every relationship. Some disagreements grow larger because expectations, responsibilities, and public pressure continue to evolve. In the case of the royal family, every meeting, or lack of one, is interpreted by millions of people around the world. That constant attention creates another obstacle. Even a genuine effort to reconcile could immediately become international news, making honest conversations harder than they would be for most families. This story isn't only about two brothers. It's about loyalty, responsibility, forgiveness, and the enormous pressure that comes with living a life where almost every personal moment becomes public discussion. Whatever happens next, historians may look back on this period as one of the defining chapters in the modern history of the British royal family, not because of titles, but because of the human relationships behind them. Whether reconciliation happens years from now, or never at all, remains uncertain. Public reports and commentary often suggest deep divisions, but only those directly involved know the full reality of their relationship. One thing is clear: stories like this remind us that even the world's most famous families face challenges that titles and traditions cannot automatically solve. Do you believe Prince William and Prince Harry will eventually rebuild their relationship, or has too much happened for trust to be restored? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy thoughtful royal analysis that goes beyond the headlines, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what comes next.